For today's review, I'm going to be talking about a movie based on a Stephen King novel, and within that realm of movies, of which there are many, I think this does often go overlooked as one of the very best, and that is the 1996 film Thinner. This is directed by Tom Holland, who of course brought us Child's Play and Fright Night, a great horror director. I think this might be his best film, his best work. This is an excellent movie, and I do think it is one of the very best films based off a Stephen King work. I hadn't seen it in a really long time, but I watched it again recently, and I was just like, wow, this is a great fucking movie. I ended up watching it twice, just because I thought it was so good. And yeah, I do think it does often go overlooked, underrated within, name the best movies based on Stephen King. People say The Shining, Carrie, or like go for the drama ones like Stand By Me. Some people even say The Mist, which I'm not a big fan of The Mist, I'll tell you straight. But anyway, Thinner, I think it's just a movie that's kind of been forgotten as one of the best adaptations from Stephen King work. I think it has everything that you would seek out in something from Stephen King. Like, it's a unique concept. It has a great hook to it, as Stephen King movies often, or Stephen King novels and the movies from which they're based often do. It's very scary, but there's great characterization in it. There's moral dilemmas. There's some profound themes to be found in it. And I think this has just about everything. In terms of the plot, very simple plot, but very well done, very effective. Basically, we have this lawyer, played by Robert John Burke, who you may remember as being RoboCop from RoboCop 3. He plays a lawyer. He's overweight. He's pushing 300 pounds. He's at that age where it's like becoming a very serious health concern. He has his wife on his case all the time. He's like, you gotta lose weight. He's like eating and sweating at the same time. Oh, I'm fine, honey. Things like that. But, it becomes a concern. He's in that kind of period of his life where a heart attack could be right around the corner. So that's something that he's concerned with. And during the beginning of this story, we see that a gypsy fair has come into town, and that kind of gets their attention. But after winning a big court case, he's out to dinner celebrating. He's driving home with his wife. His wife, again, is nagging him to lay off the food, basically. It's like, oh, all I think about is food. She's like, maybe I can get you to think about something else. And, she's giving him oral pleasure, giving a blowjob, and he's distracted. And meanwhile, this gypsy woman is crossing the street to get her coat across from the pharmacy. He hits her with the car, kills her, and pretty much gets off scot-free because he's, good company with the lawyers, police officer. He is a police officer who covers up for him. The judge covers up for him. They go to a hearing, not even a trial, and it's declared involuntary. Not even involuntary manslaughter. This is just an accident. Not even points are being taken off his driving record. But the gypsy's father, an old gypsy man with a big cyst on his nose, who looks about 109 years old, which he may or may not be, goes up to him, brushes his cheek, says, "Thinner." And thus the gypsy curse is on him. And he suddenly has this dilemma where he's not even trying, but he's losing weight. He's losing several pounds a day, and he begins to realize that the gypsy curse is causing this. The gypsy has put a curse on him for revenge, and he's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And that's the concept of the movie, basically, and I think it unravels in a great way. And I think bringing all the elements of the plot, like we have certain examples of this gypsy curse also affecting other people involved, like the police officer, like the judge. They also get their own kind of like ironic punishments through gypsy justice, as it's referred through the gypsy. And he sees that and kind of with this client that he'd been working with, who's kind of a mobster, ends up owing a big favor. He gets involved because basically it amounts to solve the gypsy curse, he has to get the gypsy to take the curse off. There's no other way, and that's easier said than done. So it becomes almost like an all-out war. Meanwhile, his wife thinks he's losing his mind. His daughter is very upset with him. And he thinks his wife may be screwing around with the doctor, too. So all that adds up, and I think it unfolds dramatically in a great way. It unfolds in terms of scariness, in terms of the plot being so crucial, and he's like losing the weight, and he's becoming skin and bones. I think it all works out great. And the ending is so great to this movie. It was changed a little bit from the novel, but the ending is just about perfect. It has just enough of... With that, I don't want to give... Just in case you haven't seen the movie, I do not want to give away the ending. It was changed a little bit from the book, but I think it has just enough of kind of, an ironic fate for the character, but the character kind of getting the last laugh at the same time. I think it's perfect. It's gut-wrenching. It's funny, and it feels just appropriate to end the movie. So I think everything in this movie comes together in such a brilliant way. And obviously, kind of the elephant in the room, so to speak, is the makeup effects in this movie. And they were done by Academy Award winner Greg Canham, who did the makeup effects for Mrs. Doubtfire. He won an Academy Award for that. Probably other things too. Basically, we have this actor who's a normal-sized actor, but he has to not only start off being like extremely fat, but then going to a point where he's extremely thin too. So like he can't even get that middle point. So apparently, he instead of like say like doing like De Niro and gaining weight for the role, you can't imagine that if like there was no makeup involved. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna gain 100 pounds for this role, and then lose it all. But no, he like lost like 20 pounds for this role to like help the skin and bones look to him in the later later scenes of the film. That's all convincing. Basically, that doesn't work. If the makeup isn't any good. I wouldn't say the makeup is 100% flawless. Like, there are times where you can tell, yeah, it's makeup, right? But I think it's very well done, and I think it's in a large part helped by the fact that, Robert John Burke, he isn't the most recognizable actor in the world. If you got someone like, this is 1996, say you got like the biggest star at the time to do the movie, I don't know, like Tom Cruise or Mel Gibson, someone like that, the beginning scenes where the character is fat, you know right away that it's a prosthetic, it's a makeup effect. Here you're not really 100% sure because the actor, he's not like a huge name or anything like that. So I think that helps quite a bit. And not to mention the performance is great from Burke. He is just so excellent. Like he kind of like reminds me a little bit of like Clint Eastwood. I don't know why. He has this demeanor about him where he has this kind of off-puttedness, but like kind of like dry wit to him. It's a really great performance. I think that's part of the reason why this movie works. In addition to all that, because the performance is so strong, I think this is just great acting from this person, and also in a supporting role, Joe Mantegna, who of course is well known for like Godfather 3. I think he's on like a Law and Order show or a CSI show, Criminal Minds show, something like that. Is what he's currently on. Fat Tony from The Simpsons, well known for that. His voice alone is one of the most recognizable voices. He plays the mobster who's helping him. He is fantastic. It's such a great character too. Such as cold, calculating, loving the carnage of this, not having any personal stake in it whatsoever, but kind of loving it. Like one of my favorite parts is like the lawyer in this case. He's at his wit's end, and he's in pain. He's becoming thinner and thinner. He's wearing down. He's the size of a rail at this point, and he's trying to get help to get the gypsy to take the curse off. And he's like, "This is getting out of hand." And meanwhile, Joe Mantegna's like, "No, this has been out of hand. I'm gonna put it in hand." I don't know. He's just great. And when he threatens the gypsy's granddaughter and with the acid, and it's great. I love this movie. I think it's so great. So I do think it is one of the best Stephen King adaptations. The source material's there. The directing chops are there through Tom Holland. The makeup effects that serve this story so well are there. The great acting is there, and I think it's worth revisiting if you haven't seen it in a long time, because that's just kind of the thing with me. Like I did have like vague memories of the movie, but I never really thought it upon myself to be like, yeah, I should revisit this. No, that was a big mistake. I gotta say, this is a great movie. 10 out of 10, 4 stars. This is an excellent fucking movie. So I love it. And a perfect Halloween movie, of course. So that's my review for Thinner, the Stephen King adaptation. Great movie. Check it out if you haven't already. Be sure to keep checking out my channel all the rest of this month. Still got plenty of horror movie reviews to come. We're not even close to the end yet. We're getting there. We're about halfway through, I think, at this point, depending on when I upload this. So be sure to stay tuned. Comment, rate, subscribe. Visit Terror237.com. In the meantime, I do definitely have more reviews from past years. I'm going to put those playlists in the description below. Check those out. And until next time, stay scared, and I'll see you later.